Harris's story, The Day I Flew to Infinity. I'm sorry, that's Lucia Harris.
It looks like right height, so just get close to it though.
The day I flew to infinity. It was a miserable, wet, depressing day. Yet Jacqueline did not feel depressed. Instead, she felt exuberant. Jackie, as her friends called her, could not wait to tell her sisters, Caitlin, Katie, and Rosalind, Rosie, about the abandoned airport she had found. Jackie went to Brampton Middle School in Nebraska. There, she took many classes. Her most interesting class was physics. Most middle schoolers didn't take physics, but Jackie was in the advanced group in all her classes. As she neared the cozy cottage where she lived, Jackie thought about how lucky she was to have found the abandoned airport. Then again, in a lot of ways, she was unlucky. It wasn't fair that, even though it was 3042, people still only let boys be explorers. Jackie desperately wanted to be an explorer. When she burst into the house, 7-year-old Rosie greeted her cheerfully. "Hi, Jackie," Rosie said delightedly. "Hi, Rosie," Jackie said cheerfully. Then she began to tell Rosie all about the airport. "It has so many old airplanes and a runway," she exclaimed. "And I have the best idea. I know it's not allowed. I think that we could teach ourselves to fly. Then we could escape to the new lands." "Hold it there, Jackie," Katie states calmly from the corner. "Think about it. That is just irrational. We are not escaping to the new lands." "Fine," Jackie sighs. "How about just learning to fly? How much harm could that do?" All right, I suppose," Katie agrees. "Let's start tomorrow." It seemed to take ages for school to end the next day. After the last bell did ring, Jackie rushed to the old abandoned airport. She could not wait to start. When Katie and Rosie arrived, Jackie said, "These planes are in pretty good condition. Let's get started." Jackie sounded a lot braver than she felt. She walked up to a blue and white small plane and entered the cockpit. "Come on in, guys," she yelled. Katie and Rosie hopped in. Jackie started the engine, the pounding of her heart even louder than it. She pressed on one of the pedals, assuming it would just lift the plane off the ground. The plane veered left. When she pressed the right pedal, the plane veered to the right. When she pressed the large stick forward, the plane went. It went faster and faster. She tried to use the pedals to stay straight, but they went in a fairly crooked line. She pulled back on the steering, and they flew up into the air. Up in the air, her feeling of utter panic turned to grim determination. She had to do it. There was no turning back now. The rest of the short flight went smoothly, except for the landing. She had decided to do exactly the opposite of what she had done to get into the air. She tilted the nose down, and the plane entered a big nosedive. Speeding at 100 miles an hour, they zoomed towards the ground. Through utter instinct, Jackie reduced the speed and eased back the nose slope. The plane bounced hard on the runway, but they were safe. Dazed, Jackie emerged from the plane. Her sisters climbed down after her. "Practice again tomorrow?" Jackie asked. "Definitely," Rosie and Katie replied in unison. The next few months were a flurry of schoolwork, flight practice, and sleep. It was fairly easy to hide their secret for a while. But then one day, Katie heard a knock at the door. "Open up," a gruff voice commanded. "It's the FBI." Katie calmly opened the door and asked, "Hello, officer. What have you come to see us about?" The officer was shocked to see the sandy brown-haired, blue-eyed little girl. He'd come to the house to see if there was a criminal offender there. But no, this couldn't be an explorer. He smiled and said, "I must have found the wrong house. I'm sorry to bother you." After the door closed, Katie sank to the floor, out of breath with relief. She thought, "I knew this would not turn out well." But after a moment, she sighed and kept that thought to herself. Later that afternoon, she told her sisters about their close encounter. Both girls grimaced. "How awful," Rosie said. "We must hurry our training." "Yeah," Jackie agreed. "I think we should be ready in a month." That month was one of the longest months in Rosie's life. Rosie had a few suspicions about what Jackie was planning. Jackie had always wanted to explore. And ever since their parents died and left the girls alone in the house, Jackie had been even more dedicated. Put two and two together, and Rosie knew that Jackie was planning an escape. Then, about a month later, around midnight, Jackie roused her sisters and said, "Come on, to the old airport. We're escaping." Katie felt torn, for she was perfectly happy to stay in this place, to become a scientist or a chef, or whatever career she chose. But her sisters were the only family she had left. For an instant, her mind exploded, and then she knew what she had to do. She gathered her belongings and followed her sisters out of the door. At takeoff, the sisters were all anxious and excited. They knew that in this day, finally, they were flying to a
What a dramatic reading. Thank you, and now you will hear Brienda's story, Breaking the Cancer Barrier.